I'll still do introductory. Just tell me when it's ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, it's good? Okay. I'm Marie. It's so weird saying this without anybody here. Okay, anyways. Hello, I'm Marie. I've worked at Double Diamond Hill Ranch for a year now. I started as a student and now I have gone from student to instructor. This is my favorite place to be, so I'm very lucky. I have quite a few students now. I started with 4 hours and now I'm full-time, so it's very exciting. Hi, Denise. This is Denise. She's gonna be my assistant for the day. We're gonna do some lunging for respect, stage 2. So we're gonna lunge her over this pole. Denise had a foal in August, and she has been pretty much off since then until like a month and a half to 2 months ago. So we're still kind of getting her working a little bit, working out some kinks. She's teaching me. She also has some weight that she could lose and some soreness in her front end. So if you see her limping a little bit, it's nothing out of the ordinary for her. She'll work it out as she gets more loose. Going over the log is going to help her learn to lift her legs, her front end a little bit more, and build up that muscle. She tends to trip because she doesn't lift her legs enough. So going over the log, she's going to learn that muscle memory of lifting her legs, and it'll help build out her muscle on the top of her body as well, because she's working more of that muscle by lifting. So we'll get started. We're gonna walk over here. Come on. Come on, Moosh. So for lunging for respect, we're gonna have her on the lunge line. She's already knowing to back up out of my space, which I love that she does that. She respects my bubble, I respect her bubble. I'm going to use my hand with the rope. I'm gonna point. She's kind of not listening, so I'm gonna cluck. Oh, she said, oh, I'm not listening, watch this. So I'm gonna point my belly button past her armpit, more towards her barrel. We're gonna work our way towards the log because she's gonna try and avoid it if possible. So I'm gonna point my stick towards her bum because she's in my space now because she's trying to avoid that log. Oh, drop the rope, that's okay. I'm gonna point again. She stopped because I dropped the rope. There we go. So she's gonna tend to try and come towards me. At any time that she does that, I'll just point my stick at her body part that needs to move away. So if it's her butt, my stick will point towards her butt. If it's her shoulder, my stick will point towards her shoulder. So now she's gone over the log a few times this way. We'll go one more time. She really thinks about avoiding it. If you look, she kind of looked towards the end of it, trying to see if she could get away with avoiding it. So now I'm gonna change her directions. I'm gonna swap my hand, step in front of her drive line, point her the other way, close the door with my stick hand. And now she's gonna go the other way. So when we change directions, especially when we have an obstacle, it's gonna be new side, new brain. So she's gonna see it in a different way, and it's gonna be new to her because the direction is new. Her shoulder's coming towards me. She got away with passing the log that time. So I'm gonna make sure, there we go. I pointed my hand up, so that's my bad. She started trotting because I did that. I'm gonna move my body a little bit. I moved my body, so she was like, are we changing? No, we're not changing. We're still going that way. So now she's a little bit more even. The hard part about doing this is keeping your body in a good spot to aim her towards that log. So, okay, so now we're gonna ask for a little bit more speed. We're gonna have her go into a trot. She's gonna go through this puddle. She's been kind of avoiding it. There we go. There we go. She tried really hard to avoid the log. But this is great for her. She's getting a little exercise. You can tell she's calm because she's licking and chewing. She's blinking. Her ear is pinned towards me. So she's paying attention to what I'm asking. And she's doing, honestly, a really great job. She's kind of pulling away over on this other side towards the grass. So maybe it's the stick. She's kind of leaning towards me still, so I'm not too worried about it. Oh. She was like, I know I've done this 100 times already, but we're going to be a little scared of it. Yeah. So we're gonna change her direction, step, point. So new side of her brain. She is scared of the puddle once more. I'm gonna try and keep inching her towards it every time we go around. What I loved about that change of direction, she stayed in her trot that time. She didn't change to a walk. She's keeping her gait, which is great. That's exactly what she's supposed to do. Anytime she looks in towards me, she's kind of asking for a break. So when she does that, it's all right. I'm just gonna point and have her go back out. If she looks at me and stops, then I'll point and cluck. You silly. There we go. She's a little bit of high energy with this, so I'm gonna try and change her direction a few more times now that we've kind of established. She knows where the log is. She's really avoiding it. Sis, oh, oh. So I dropped the rope. A nice whoa didn't work, so I stepped in front of her drive line and asked her to come in towards me. She has done round penning before, so she knows when I step in front of her drive line and step back that she can come towards me. We're in an open area. I mean, we're in a closed area, but slightly open. So she could very well have run off if she wanted to. But I don't want to chase her because I'm going to drive her away at that time. I'm going to try and politely ask her to come in towards me instead of chasing her away. We're two silly girls. It's fine. Okay, we're gonna try again, and I'm gonna change her direction quite a bit more now because she has the puddle that she's working through, and she's also kind of avoiding the log, at least going to my right. So I'm gonna try and position myself in between these two obstacles again. There we go. She knew what was going on, so she's backing up away. There we go. There you go. Good girl. She has to really think about picking up her feet on that log because it's something that she doesn't normally do. So sometimes she kind of has a little hesitation in front of it. But if we keep her moving, she does really well. See, new side, new brain. She wasn't as confident that time. And to the right is her not as strong side. So she's not going to be as confident going over the log when she comes to the right. There you go. But as long as she has it and she tries, that's all I can really ask for. There you go. She's really trying to avoid it though. She's being a lot more calm this time. I'm going to send her the other way. So for stage 2, she's kind of cutting into my area. We want her to do a little bit more of a rollback. That's not fully my focus today because we're focusing on the logs and the puddle and her overcoming those obstacles. But I'm gonna try and step into her space a little bit more when I ask for that directional change, so she'll roll back onto her back end and do more of like a spin move instead of a walk through my space. See, she really has to think about it on this side. I want her to go over it one more time. So I'm going to step in front, step into her space. There we go. If you notice, hopefully I wasn't in the way, her back legs stayed put and she rolled around on her front end. So she kind of went zoop instead of coming into my space and walking towards me. She's a long horse, so she tends to get into my space very easy. Especially I'm on a shorter lunge line today, so it's not quite her fault. So I'm going to step, ask. See, she walked into me that time. So step, ask. There we go. That was a little bit better. Still kind of into my space too much. So I'm going to step, ask. She really's got to think about it on that one. Step, ask. There we go. So you step into her so she haunches back on her butt instead of walking out of it. Nope. I got ahead of her on that one. There you go. You're good. I think she's kind of looking. She's looking for a little bit of a break. There we go. Okay, I want to break her on a good transition. So not that one. That one was better, so we'll stop her on that. Let's get her over these poles. Pull towards my belly button, step on her tail. We're gonna give her a nice rub. She's a good girl. Okay, so we'll talk about some things that I liked about what Denise did. A huge thing is, even though she was kind of scared of the puddle, she was abrasive of the log, or apprehensive, I guess I should say. She always tried to do what was asked of her. She kept going in a nice circle. She was apprehensive of the log because she knows that it's harder for her. She's kind of wiggling. She knows that it's more work for her to go over the log. It's easier for her to walk around it. She had a few snafus with the puddle. That's okay. She ended up going through it almost every single time after that. And then I had a few snafus. One of them being I dropped the rope. And then I was not watching where my belly button was on her drive line a couple times. And so that sends the wrong message of like, are we stopping or are we going? And she's very good at keeping you honest in that time of like, what are you asking me to do? So I wasn't clear enough for her. So having clear communication with your horse is something that is very, very important, because if we don't know what we're asking, they don't know what we're asking. And we can't hold them accountable if we're not clear. So, but she did really good. I think going forward, it's something that I know we have to work on. Is her rollbacks in the lunging for respect stage 2. She got a couple of good ones. I really want her to come back and go like this when she changes directions and not just walking into my space. Because when she walks into my space, if you have a horse that you don't know, and still even with her, if she wants to kick me, she can easily kick me. And it's just, we're lunging for respect. We're not lunging for being in my space. So we want her to be outside of our circle and be out there, because being inside of our circle is something that is for breaks and is something for horses that we trust and that can come kind of hang out with us and be in our space. But as they're transitioning in that lunge, we want to make sure that they're back on their haunches and shifting to either side. And it's something that I know she can do, which is why I'm more particular with her on it, because I know she's an athletic horse that can do this. Granted, she's long, but she's not, lazy, I guess. She likes to think she's lazy, but she can do it. All right, you want to try again one more time? We have time to try again one more time. Okay, I'm going to position myself. And I want to make sure she's at least a 6 length away from me. So like I said, she's coming into my space. I don't even have to touch her, and she moves out of my space, which is very nice and respectful of her. It's just a reminder, hey, you're getting too close, and it's a very calm way to remind. She avoided the puddle that time and the last time. So I'm going to ask her for more speed. She's kind of looking at the puddle like she's nervous. She doesn't want to walk through the puddle. She really avoided that time too. There you go. So if she goes through this without me having to urge her, I'm going to stop her. There we go. And give her that reward for, she kind of yielded really lazy. Ma'am, thank you. So she went through that puddle without me having to urge her. The last 2 times I had to point and cluck to get her to really go forward through it. This time I didn't have to do either one of those things. So I'm going to reward her with a little bit of a break and a release. There we go. That she did a good job, because she was scared of the puddle once again, even though she's gone through it a few times. But that's okay. We'll work through it. The lighting changes. We took a break. The circumstances changed. So, and then she didn't yield her hind, because I want her when she stops to face me. So if she's kind of slanted with her butt off to one side or the other, I'm going to correct her and make sure she knows she's supposed to fully face me, not just halfway. It should be eye to eye. So that's a pretty good break. So we'll ask her again, and we're going to ask the other way, and we'll see how she reacts to the puddle going this way. So I'm going to point up high, close the door with my stick hand. There we go. She's avoiding it. That's all right. We'll get it on the next one. There we go. She avoided it a little less that time. There we go. There we go. She's getting a little sore. The rocks are not helping. So you can tell that she's having a harder time going to the right. This is the side that she is a little bit more sore on. She's in my space, stick up, stick back down. She's out of my space. I want you to stay in a trot, thank you. So that time I only had to point to get her in the trot. I didn't have to cluck. I'll let her think about the log on this side. It's not her strong side. She's really trying. There we go. She's really trying to avoid it at. So I kind of got her more in the middle now. There we go. And now she's going through the puddle on this side without even having an issue. Let's see if she goes back. There we go. So I was waiting to see if she would go back into a trot on her own. So she is thinking about the log is an obstacle, but I know what gait I'm supposed to be at. That time she didn't do it, but that's okay. So she's thinking through the log and then going back into that trot. I'm gonna try and pull her more towards me. There we go. So then she has to go towards the middle. She was scared of the puddle that time. There we go. So now I'm gonna change her direction next to the puddle. See where we get at. Have her think about it a little bit more. See, that was a better rollback right there. See how she does next to the puddle. She wasn't fearful of it that time. She just knows she doesn't like it, so she kind of avoids it a little bit. There we go. She tried to avoid it again, but she had no other choice that time. I'm going to change her direction right here next to the puddle. So when she's slowing down, what's happening is I'm still moving. That's why she keeps changing her direction right there. So I tried to be more conscious of where I was when she slows down. See if we can get her not to avoid the log this time. She knows when I talk that also I'm not paying 100% attention. And she'll try and get away with something else. There we go. See, that was a good rollback, so I'm going to ask her to come in so we can end that on a good note. That was good. So hopefully you saw the two good rollbacks that she had. She had some that were still meh, but we're going to work on them. See how she keeps stepping into my space? I just want her to stay back out of my bubble until she's invited in. So once she kind of hangs out there, then she can come close. But if I ask her to come back, see, now she's like, well, you asked me not to do that. There you go. I don't want her to keep inching forward towards me. It's your space is your space, my space is my space until you're invited in. And no, like, I backed, but then maybe I can come forward. No, it's your back until, until I ask you to not be. So, cool. I think that's good. We ended on a pretty good note. The notes for the right side would be she really, really has to think about the log. Like I said, going to the right is not her strong side. That's when her leg is the weakest. She has problems with this left one. And so going to the right is usually when I can see that she has soreness. And so it's not surprising to me that when she's going to the right, she's going to be more apprehensive of the log because then she's on her more sore side. So we're going to keep practicing it. It's going to help build her muscles in her front end as well and teach her to pick up her feet. If you notice around the circle, it's a pretty decent pathway where this is my area, that was her area. And so that is also really good because she knows what to do. She knows that's where I go, this is where you go. The puddle, she had a few snafus with the puddle. Then we had a break after she worked it out. Then the puddle was something new again. That's okay. We worked over it. She was going through the middle of the puddle by the end. We changed her direction by the puddle, so she had to be in it and next to it more frequently. That's going to help her think about it, because when she's changing that direction, she has to think more than rather than just going forward, forward, forward. So she did a great job. We'll keep practicing at different things. We're not always going to have a puddle, but we'll always have the log. So, good girl. Now she gets love. Come on, Mamash.